Okay, so I'm going to show you where the well, some more connections to the Hoover Dam, this connection to the pyramid and to the top of the clock tower. Um, so I'm going to show you a whole bunch of references here. So I'm going to be jumping all over the place, but the main thing to show you in this video is really where the 1-7 is in here, and we'll just go from there. So before I get started, I don't want to forget this, but this side of the dollar bill right here, if you were to hold this up to the light, what you would see right there is barely be able to make it out, but you would see the pyramid seal right here. Okay, the Eye of Providence right there. And if you were to actually go to the other side of the dollar bill and fold it right at the top of the pyramid, what it will do is that fold line will come right up through the I and the C here. Okay, I being the 9th letter in the alphabet, okay, and C being the 3rd letter. Okay, so you get this 93 or 39 reference, which again, the birthday of the Hoover Dam is right, yeah, September the 30th. Okay, so again, just tying back with the dam, with the pyramid, and the dollar bill here. Okay, so if you just hold that up to the light, you'll see the pyramid is there. If you put a fold through the top of the pyramid right at the point and do a vertical fold, it should, at least on the dollar bills that I've tried it on, it comes right up. If you flip it around again, you'll see the fold line comes right up between the I and the C. And what have we just had in America right now? But it's being icy. Okay, they just did the Frozen event, the icing of the middle of America. We had a big winter storm come through. I don't know quite where it went after it hit Kansas City, but it carried on. I suppose I'm assuming it's carried on all the way over to the East Coast. But anyway, that's what we've got going on here. The icy. Okay. That's one little thing that I wanted to show. Now let's move on to the next little thing. We have to remember that the pyramid is on this side of the dollar bill. So we're concerned with this stuff that was going on here. Now, as you recall, I had mentioned in a couple of videos back now, I did the decode which showed you how you got to 1231 on this side of the dollar bill, and you could pick out Christmas on this side of the dollar bill. Okay, I'm not going to run back through all that stuff. You just a case of going back a few videos and digging it out. Okay. Now, what's important about that is we have this reference to Christmas on this side, and I was talking about the mirror, this 14 days of Christmas that has 7 days up to the 31st. Okay, and then we flip over. What am I writing here? 13. I'm writing everything backwards. We have the 31st, and then we flip over, right at this point to the 1st. So New Year's is right here. And then we have another 7 days on, which takes us up to, of course, the 7th. So Christmas, the 25th, through to the 7th. Okay. Now, sorry, this is so scribbled. Now, what I want you to note is that the 7-1 here happens to coincide with the, what I just showed you with the 1225 decode on here. Okay, now let me show you how we get to this. So let me change colors here, and let's put a line across here because there is a dividing line. Okay, and that dividing line is right here where the eyes are, and this makes another fold. okay, which I'm not going to go into right now. It just take too long to explain all this, but this is part of another dollar bill fold, okay? We can come in now and we can actually do a couple of things that's interesting that's happened this year in here. This isn't the first time I've decoded Donald Trump's ear wound out of here, but let me show you. Let's go on to brushes and let's go ahead and count up on this side of the dollar bill here what we've got going on. Above and below the line. We're going to use above and below for Donald Trump. But we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 leaves here, and then we have 1, 2, 3, and then we have, let's do Christmassy, 1 berry here. Okay, so what we have is 713 or 731, however you want to look at it, but we've got those numbers. Okay, now note, if you come across from the corner of your eye here, right, this little point, and you just follow across, what you'll notice is that the top of your ear, or where your ear starts, usually starts about there and comes around like this. Okay, so if you were to put the ear in, the hidden ear here of Washington, you'll notice that this line comes straight through, which is kind of interesting with the 713 ear wound of, well, an ex-president, okay, coming through the ear of Washington here. Kind of interesting, and it's on the actual correct ear here as we look at it, okay, and I don't know if we were at the correct height or not. I'm not quite sure what part of the ear Donald Trump got shot in, but you know, that's just interesting, right? So what? So we're looking at something that corresponds or something that ties in with all these ideas right now. I just wanted to show you that because we're going to be, let's look at this other side of the dollar bill here and let's count up some numbers here, okay? So we can count leaves again here, right? Which I'm finding pretty interesting because we've got 7 again, but this time we've got this berry here. So now we've got 1, 7 potentially here, right here. Now recall that the pyramid is over here as well on the back side of here. So this is all sort of quite interesting. We've kind of dropped out with this here. If you note, though, there is, let me show you something here as well. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then we've actually got 1, 2, 3, 4 berries. So there is a 45 in there as well, which is kind of interesting, again tying back with Donald Trump. Okay, back to the ear wound, back to, honestly, with this symbolism here, this connection to Donald Trump, it does make me, obviously the shield is Hoover Dam symbolism in itself, but this is also like the breastplate, which make, the shield is the breastplate, which is the bulletproof vest, like with Doc and Marty getting shot in Back to the Future. Okay, so we have a double reference in Back to the Future about rebirth, and the bulletproof vest, the assassination attempt, and this 7-1 that ties into it right here. Okay, I don't know, so it's maybe referenced twice in Back to the Future. Maybe this whole thing with the ear here is a tie back into that. I don't know, it's kind of fascinating, isn't it? Maybe we could go and do a number jump in a minute and just see what it is from the assassination thing 271, today's date. But that's what I wanted to show you there. It is in here. Let me show you one more thing that's pretty important with this idea when we go back to this 14 days of Christmas thing that I was talking about before. Let's just go file new. Let's get rid of this. Okay. So we'll start off again with a fresh dollar bill, and I need to rotate this now. It'll be easier to see. So Washington's in the hangman pose here. Now you can probably already see this reference to the 77. Actually, I'll show you one more thing as well in just a second with Donald Trump again. But here's this 77 here. Let me outline it so that we can see. So here's our first 7. Okay. And then we can do our second 7 that's a mirror. Now, what is interesting about this mirrored 77 with what would you say, Washington crowning like he's being born, okay, where the egg's about to crack open here, okay. We got this 7-7, yeah, which was again our 7 days, and here's the big O, which is the mirror, okay. This is the mirror point, and then we had 7 days on the other side of it. So we had Christmas one side, and then we had the 7-1 date on the other side corresponding. Okay, now it is interesting that when we do come to, when we've got this upside down, so we can see this first 7 and then we see the mirrored 7, notice that we have the number 1 right above it. So this 1-7 is right here. Okay, I just wanted to show you that the idea of being birthed, being upside down head first, come out head first, okay, and we've got the 7-1 here again. I know that might be a stretch for people, but I think once you flip that around you can see the 7 pretty easily. You know, let's get rid of this crud. I mean, you can, you know, I mean, it's just, and where this little loop thing starts here, you know, cut off point, you know, I mean, it's not, you know, that's not too much of a stretch, is it? Anyway, it might be for some. Let me, hang on, let's start again. New, don't save. Let me show you something else. One more thing and then I'll be done. Okay, again, so we're going to go back to the to this second thing with Donald Trump. Okay, let's put brushes on. Down here, okay, again opposite, so this was the 7-1 we were looking at before, okay, for our reference. So again, we had another opposite event that happened with Donald Trump, which was the, what was the date? The 15th of September. Don't care how you want to write it, if you want to write it like that or write it the other way around, whatever, okay. So the 15th of September. Now, if we look at these things that are down here, and we also, you know, we're pointing towards, this event here, when we had all his numbers for his ear event, was pointing over to this side, okay, and now this could also be pointing this way as well. So let me show you what we have down here, especially with these leaves and berries here. Now this is really difficult to see, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the where this pattern comes from originally, and this particular dollar bill as well. We'll go to this dollar bill and we'll blow this up a bit here. Excuse the pun. So we'll go to an original dollar bill and I'm going to click on magnify and we'll come across here and we'll just count up what we've got going on. So if you can see my cursor, let's do berries first. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 berries. Okay, and then let's do our leaves kind of backwards, so because I'm going to end up somewhere. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and what this is actually 9 leaves here. Okay, there's actually another leaf here, and I'm going to show you why that is a leaf with this other thing. But what we have going on here is 5, 9, and pointing in this direction we have this big 1 right here. 1, 5, 9, 9, 5, 1, however you want to split those numbers up, gives us our other bulletproof vest event in Back to the Future. Okay, this date here is written here basically. 5 berries, 9 leaves, and 1 right here. Okay, all pointing towards here. This pointing towards this, mirrored. Okay, this being a mirror of this 7, 1. Okay, and this, well, the 7, 1 that is up here. Sorry this is so scribbled and a mess, but it's just how it's going to be. Now if you're not convinced that that is a leaf there, let me show you why that is a leaf. If we go to the original where this came from, dollar bill, the old silver certificate, what you'll see is right here where my cursor is right now, you can see that that is actually a leaf right there. All they've done in the new dollar bill is they've just left the edge of that leaf, and they've blacked everything else out, and they've blacked everything on this side as well. But we can count up still. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 berries. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 leaves. Okay, so that to me again is pointing towards death and resurrection, just like the attempted assassination, which also happens in Back to the Future twice with Doc. Actually, it happens 3 times, because it actually happens twice with Doc and once with Marty. Marty uses the bulletproof vest. Does it happen again with Marty at all? I don't know. But anyway, Marty uses the bulletproof vest, the metal plate, like Eastwood, and Doc uses the bulletproof vest, and he also has his hat blown off as well by Mad Dog. Mad Dog backwards, goddamn. Okay. I'm gonna leave it there. I think I've shown you everything I wanted to show you in this. If you have seen my previous dollar bill decodes, that will make perfect sense to you, what I've just shown you. Okay. One other thing with these numbers here is, remember, 1 and then 5 leaves and then 2, 1, 2, 5, 125, or what 125 is abbreviation, condensing the 2 2s that are in the middle of 1225, moving those 2 2s over the top of one another. So again, just interesting, isn't it? I'm gonna leave it there. Oh, there was one more thing. Okay, I'll have to explain this, but I do want to explain it really quickly because it's actually, I think, fairly important. Let's just go to fresh here. And what I was going to mention was that, okay, when I did the the thing before with the 24th, 25th, 26th, 27th, 28th, sorry, 29th. If I could remember what was the name of that chart? Of course, for some reason it's not keeping it up in the recent stuff, and this thing takes forever to. I mean, this computer is just, I can't believe it's still going. Look at that. If I do that now, look. What? I mean, why is that doing that? Let me show you something really quick. I want to do, what did I call it? 14 Days of Christmas. Great name. Okay. So we've got all these dates up here, right? What? In Back to the Future, at the start of Back to the Future, there's a reference to 8 o'clock in the morning and Marty being 25 minutes late. Okay, so he's late, and we have a reference to 25 and 8. Okay, now if we look, Christmas on 25, if he was to appear here again on Christmas on the 7th, okay, he'd be on time. But let's say, actually, if he appeared between the 6th and the 7th, he'd be on time. Okay, but let's imagine for a minute now he's going to be late. So from the 7th through to the 8th would be our reference at the start of Back to the Future with 8:25 and being late. Okay, so again, you know, this is all pie in the sky ideas here, but if we were to look at that reference in Back to the Future 8:25, it could be referencing the idea of, you know, Marty's rebirth taking place, you know, if this was Christmas, taking place and him actually being late for his rebirth, so happening, you know, kind of on this side of it, which actually would be the correct place, you know, considering coming this way. No, actually it would be going that way. I don't know what I'm doing now. Is that right? We're going in to Christmas here from Eve, and we're coming out of Christmas here to Eve here. So we're going the wrong way, so to speak. I don't know how to explain that, but you can probably see what I mean. Okay, so he's going to be late because he's leaving Christmas rather than coming into it. Does that make sense? I don't know. Alright, anyway, I thought it was worth just mentioning because I thought it was just, again, my favourite word, interesting. Alright, there's our 7-7, remember, in the dollar bill. Our 7-7. And then, I'll tell you what was interesting as well, was I watched, can't remember which game it was, but I happened to zoom in on a guy, and football player, and you know how they put the black on their face? It was underneath his eyes like this. I was just like, what? Anyway, I can't remember what game that was, but again, interesting stuff. Yeah, thanks for watching. Cheers, bye.